here now. So I've gone to my own 4G.
Nice one. 4G is better than the Wi-Fi, apparently. So the whiskey we are drinking is the Glenlivet 18-year-old. It's empty, look.
We've got ourselves a wee 18-year-old in the clan cave, eh?
Are you ready for a wee sad face? You're out of whiskey.
Where's the rum? Cheryl's saying I also have my volume cranked and it sounds low. It might be a bit too far from the camera, maybe?
Nah, surely not. Surely you can hear us, because we used to do them outside the cameras with that distance, and we're inside and there's no wind, so...
And there's no wind,
there's
so
no wind.
We'll just
that
deal
was
with it.
a nice colour, eh?
Oh, aye.
Don't know, can you make that colour out on Facebook and YouTube? Look at that. That is beautiful.
Smells damn good too, right?
Oh,
tastes like an 18-year-old.
yeah.
Right, today's episode is all about the best breakfast for weight loss.
Yes, so it's probably one of the most common questions. We say that every question we get, right? Oh, it's probably one of the most common questions we get.
Yeah, how many questions do we get, right?
We get all the questions, they're all common. But no, what is the best breakfast for weight loss? Now, we're going to give you a bunch of answers right now.
Pros and cons, well, mostly pros to each. Yeah, we'll just stick with the pros of each, right?
Yeah.
Rather than cons. We don't want to con you, we'll just give you the pros.
So let's start. Scientifically speaking, of course everybody's different, I'm hesitating here. Of course there are exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, scientifically, the best breakfast you could possibly have for weight loss is meat and nuts. Okay, so...
And he's being genuine, that's not all I tell.
Morning glory, meat and nuts on breakfast! Yeah, so basically you're looking at a good source of protein and good healthy fats. So something like roast beef and a handful of almonds is going to be a very, very good breakfast for you. It's going to avoid the sugar spikes, which is often the case with other breakfasts. So there's going to be no sugar spikes. It's going to give you nice sustained energy, which makes you feel fuller. It stops you craving other sugary foods and give you a good dose of protein, so your muscles instantly are getting this stimulation of protein, so it encourages them to develop more muscle fibre and strength, etc.
But unfortunately, not everybody wants to have roast beef with nuts for their breakfast, so let's just assume that you're not going to do that every single day.
Yeah, because like I say, some roast beef and a handful of almonds is not exactly appetising first thing in the morning. So although it's the best thing for weight loss, most people are kind of like, well, I kind of go from a bowl of cornflakes to some roast beef and almonds. There's got to be something else along the way that you can still get a lot of benefit from, but without going crazy.
So some of the classics you have, let's start with eggs, right? Eggs for breakfast. Now eggs, good size of protein, good source of protein, good source of fats as well.
Yep.
So you can have eggs lots of different ways: scrambled egg, fried egg. Unless you're using a specific kind of like coconut oil, for example, you'd want to watch what you're frying it in. But other than that, fried eggs, scrambled eggs, poached eggs is a good one for us, right? We enjoy our poached eggs.
Definitely. I quite just enjoy it because one of the most common not complaints, or it's more of a observation in the morning, is like lack of time. A lot of people wake up too late. It's then a case of rushing around trying to get some breakfast in. A lot of people skip breakfast because they don't have time or they're too rushed, and that's why people end up going for toast or cereal, because it's quick, easy, they just have it. So this is why I like boiled eggs. Now, having eggs in the morning, you can just basically, I've got this little routine where I put my eggs in the pan with just a little bit of water, so as soon as you put it on the heat, the water heats up very, very quickly while I'm boiling the kettle. Time the kettle boils, the water in the pan is already at boiling temperature, so you can then pour the rest in, set my alarm for 5 minutes, and away you go, and I can just get on with my other little tasks.
Remember when we were on the retreat, I made us boiled eggs?
Oh man, that was awesome.
Yeah, because we were doing sort of different dietary techniques when we were away, but when we went walking, we're just taking the eggs out and peeling them as we went, right?
Yeah, it was great. It really was fantastic. And it was one of our lessons also, is when you get back to basics, the simple foods taste so good.
I know.
I was trying to do more vegetables and nuts for the first few days, and I plan to do at least 3 days just having vegetables and nuts until day 2, when Mr. Shield says, "Do you want an egg?" And I could smell them. I was like, "Yeah, I want an egg." And I was like, "Oh man, I want all the eggs."
Bring me the eggs. Bring me the spaceman. I've told this story before, but when I was younger, I used to eat 6 boiled eggs on the way to school every day. And a friend of mine who had never been to my house before, he knew the rough route, and he made it to my front door, and I was expecting a phone call. This was back when mobile phones were just out, so he would have given me a one ringer, and I'd have to ring him back, you know. And but he made it to my door. I was like, Daniel, how did you get here? He says, you're never going to believe this. I was like, you're right, I'm probably not going to believe it. And he said, I got so far as he could see, but then eventually the closer he got to my house, he started seeing eggshells. He knew that I ate eggs every day, and he followed the eggshells almost to my door.
Oh, nice.
Because although he'd had a lift to mine before and he'd come in the top of my street, he recognised which house it was, and the eggshells literally led him there.
Happy days.
So, yeah, so boiled eggs.
Littering clout here.
Well, the soil
biodegradable, of course it was.
Yeah. Now, who was it saying? Somebody had Taylor saying he has 2 eggs with avocado and spinach and a blueberry. He makes it into a smoothie.
Nice.
But there's your protein and good fats in the avocado. So again, you're hitting the kind of ideal for weight loss.
Stanford Walker saying facials before meat and nuts. It's usually meat and nuts and then the facial.
What other things now? Sometimes having grapefruit for breakfast. There's certain enzymes in grapefruit that are good for burning fat. Again, you'd have to have a lot of grapefruit to really get the benefit from them, but nonetheless, it's one of those things where they did scientific research into the enzymes of it, and yes, if you ate enough grapefruit, they would burn more fat. Grapefruit will help you burn more fat than having a banana for breakfast, for example, but I wouldn't buy into the whole, I'm going to have my grapefruit for breakfast and therefore I'm going to burn more fat.
Yeah.
It's more fat than other things, but not necessarily more fat.
It then comes right back to what we're talking about. I give my philosophy of, you know, try to create a sculpture where you've got 3 tools, you've got pickaxe, you've got hammer and chisel, and you've got sandpaper. Yeah. Yes, the grapefruit might help you burn a little bit more fat, but it's the sandpaper, it's like the end of the spectrum, you know, you just to make a few tweaks.
The finer points, isn't it?
Sarah's saying that the fire looks warm and relaxing, nice ambience to your den. And this is a work in progress at the moment. We've still got a bunch of stuff over there we don't want to see. We've got obviously this terrible brickwork that we're going to cover up with some other brickwork. Maybe. Or should we just put some material down there? It's nice and it's dark. Like I've got like black material which is there. Could we just put some black material down? Or would that make it too dark?
It would make it dark, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, we'll stick with the brickwork wallpaper.
Yeah, go with that, right? Cheryl's saying breakfast is my favourite meal of the day. You can do so much with breakfast. I would have to agree with you, Cheryl. I love breakfast. The options there. I sometimes feel guilty having breakfast later in the day. Like if you had like, you know, scrambled egg with maybe a sausage or whatever else, and all the kind of breakfasty things at 5 PM. You're kind of like, messes up your body clock a wee bit, doesn't it?
It does, definitely does.
Smoothies for breakfast. Now, in my experience, smoothies for me just have too much sugar in them for first thing in the morning. You end up getting a sugar rush. Now, a lot of breakfast cereals, in terms of the ones that are aimed at kids especially, tend to have a sugar rush. Now, I remember speaking to someone years ago about this, and I was saying it's amazing how, you know, because for weight loss, a sugar rush is not what you want, right?
No, definitely not.
But what somebody explained it to me, and they said, but Rab, these kind of cereals came out when people used to have serious manual labour jobs, like going down the mines.
Yeah, they needed the energy.
They needed the energy burst first thing, and that's when these kind of cereals became popular. Now, life has changed. We don't have these hard-working, calorie-burning jobs. I mean, some people do, but...
Yeah, but when you think about it, our bodies are designed to like foods that give you more calories per size of food. So it's basically high, because fats, for every gram you're getting 9 calories, as opposed to 4 when you get protein and carbs. So our bodies are designed to like more fat, but also then that's when the sugar comes in, because having, like, if you got tasked, in fact we're going to do this, right, the 10,000 calorie challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
So, and to highlight this point, Rab and I are going to do a 10,000 calorie challenge, and we're going to have to choose foods that we recommend you guys do not choose on a day-to-day basis. The reason we're going to choose these foods is so we can have 10,000 calories. So like Rab was saying, when you've got a manual labour job, when you're on your feet constantly, hard labour all day, you need as much energy as you possibly can. Therefore, you have to have foods that are easy to eat to get a lot of calories. Therefore, sugary cereals, you know, big bowls of porridge with lots of sugar put in and jam and everything else. you know, looking high fat, so like a fry up with lots of butter and everything else. Really easy to eat, to get a lot of calories, but it's the exact foods that we shouldn't be eating because we're just not as physical as our relatives, distant relatives were.
Now, Louis made a comment, but then he retracted it, but his comment was fine, so I don't know why he retracted it. He was basically saying that he does his workouts in the morning, and therefore afterwards he then has his carbs in there, like his bran or whatever. Now, again, clever carbs. If you've done a workout, hard workout, right afterwards, you can get your carbs in, right? So you could potentially get away with a sugary cereal if you've done your workout first.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, if you're a morning kind of workout.
If you've really got a sweet tooth, then as long as you're not shy in the gym, get in there, work bloody hard, and then scientifically what we're talking about here is your muscles become very absorbent. There's a glucose transmitter, or transporter should I say, a glucose transporter called GLUT4. And when you have a really intense workout, GLUT4 becomes elevated, your body releases more of it, so that when you're having carbs, this GLUT4 basically takes hold of all the carbs and just pushes it into your muscles, so it's not going anywhere near your fat. So it's a really good thing actually to have carbs after an intense workout. But if you're not having an intense workout, then probably just avoid them. Now, David Ollie Ray is asking, is it true you should eat within 30 minutes after getting out of bed? Now, Tim Ferriss did a lot of research into this for his book, The 4 Hour Body, and again, there's always exceptions to the rule, and you've always got to consider the psychology behind different things as well as the physiology. So physiologically, yes, absolutely, you should be eating about 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up, and that's the best thing for building more lean muscle mass and burning more body fat. But psychologically, not everyone can do that, or it's not that you can't do it, sometimes it's just if you were to do it, it can decrease your happiness. You can make it really miserable in the morning, you just really don't enjoy your food. You can then start to develop negative relationships with food because you're force feeding yourself trying to get this physiological response. So we always say health and happiness, just because physiologically it's better for you doesn't mean that you should actually be doing it.
Now, we're big promoters of porridge for breakfast. Now, it is carbohydrates, it's slow burn, good sources of calcium there, good source of fats, good start to the day really.